Hello everybody, welcome to Friendship Shaving. It's good to be here. I feel a little under the weather today, and what I really like, it seems a bit odd, but what I really like when I am feeling under the weather is to come and have a shave. It just makes me feel a little fresher and a little better about myself, so that's what I've come to do today. I thought I'd talk to you at the same time. Just going to be having a nice, easy shave today. Now, I had a contact in the week from a friend of the channel, David Benby, and he suggested that I do a signature shave, and it really set me thinking. And I'd like to put a question to you guys on that side of the screen. Do you have what you would call a signature shave? And especially you YouTubers, perhaps you might like to have a think about this. I have a few products that I certainly like to use, but I wasn't exactly sure that I had a signature shave. So I've really thought about this and thought back to when I first started and what I like to use, and I suppose now I've got a signature brush in the Macy, made for Friendship Shaving by Frank Shaving. And this is the silver tip brush, and I really have been enjoying this one very much over the other two that I've got. Of course, I've got the finest and the synthetic brush as well, excuse me. But I really am enjoying this one. Look at the head on that, 22mm. When I put it on my face, look, it's massive. 22mm brush. So I suppose this now has become my signature brush. Please forgive me, you can tell I'm a little bit under the weather. There might be a few pauses. Now, my razor blade certainly is a signature razor blade. It was a blade that I discovered and fell in love with immediately. And if you know me and you know my channel, you know that I really, really love my Voscods. And I'll be using a Voscod today with a vintage razor. Now, you might be thinking, oh, come on, a signature shave, surely he's going to get out his Uncle Morris's Gillette Slim. But actually I'm not, although that is right up there. I'm going to get out my Gillette Single Ring 102A. It's a razor that I love. It'll always be in my den. And while I have been very blessed in the amount of razors that I've been able to use and borrow this year particularly, this really is the razor that I kind of first really fell in love with when I started to shave with a DE razor. So going to be using that with my Voscod. Let's get the blade loaded up. Oh, I haven't unwrapped the blade. I hope you're all doing okay. I've got a bit of that hot and cold going on, you know, and a bit of a foggy head, and I've got really terrible vertigo again, so there's something going on. I'm not sure what it is, but as I say, I do like to have a shave when I'm not so good. And I think some of that harks back to when I first came out of hospital in 2011, after having meningitis and being very poorly. Shaving was a real zen space for me, and I think that's why when I am poorly I feel the need to come in here and shave. It's an odd thing, but it makes sense to me. We all have our little foibles, don't we, our little sort of rituals that we stick to, and this is certainly one of mine. Now, signature soap, I do love a citrus soap, and I have a few that, you know, I've got the Club Cola from Wickham's, I've got the Cold River soaps, Select shaving soap. I've even got Pall Mall, which has got a bright touch of citrus in amongst the floral. But one of the first soaps I got was a barbershop scented soap from OSP, one of James's soaps, if you know that gentleman. And my sister bought it for me for Christmas, and it was my first, what I call it, proper artisan soap, you know. And I loved the scent of it, with its sort of bergamot and its sort of bright citrusy notes to it, and I kind of stuck with that scent because what I've got is the Albion shaving soap from Phoenix and Bow. Now, I've had this in my den a long time. This is one that has recently been kindly given to me. And it smells very similar to that old OSP soap. And it is a scent that I enjoy very much. This one, it says, is bergamot, lavender and grapefruit. But I know there are some other ingredients as well. But yeah, so I had a tub of this in my den for a long time. I know there are lots of other shaving soaps out there that sort of use a bergamot and citrus as their sort of base, but this is certainly one that I like. I am a Brit as well, and it really pleases me that the Queen's Head is on the label. I really like that. I think it's a fantastically designed label, and I definitely see myself as a Brit and not English. Even though I was born in England, I have some Welsh heritage, and I lived in Wales for about 20 years, so I definitely see myself as a Brit rather than being from any one country in our union. There's the brush loaded up. Look at that. It's you know, like a lot of these soaps. There we go. It's a little bit better, isn't it? Like a lot of these soaps, Once you get the brush into it, they really start to release their perfume. I just love this one. So I think after much thought, and really after a lot of thought, I think what you're seeing me use today, you can kind of consider as my signature shave. So it definitely harks back to when I first started trying to use a DE razor. To be fair, it was fairly easy, but there was some razor burn going on. I distinctly remember that. But more than that, what I mostly remember was my absolute joy of being able to shave it in a new way, and it just really appealed to me in every way. And what you see me doing now, putting the soap on my face, is just, oh, it was a revelation to me. It really was, rather than just squirting some shaving foam on my face. And I think that's why sometimes I maybe get carried away and take a bit of a long time when I'm putting the soap on, but it's such a nice feeling. As you all know, I'm sure. And if you're catching this for the first time and thinking about making the change, I can only urge you to try it. I think it will change your life. Look at this beautiful soap. Now I'm just going to shove my case to the back. I don't want to get soap on it. There we are. Look at the soap in there. What a brilliant brush that is turning out to be. Do you know, I dropped it. I was taking a shave at the day photo on my bookcase, and it fell down the back of the bookcase. And there's a little mark on the handle. I'm so annoyed. The things we do for our shave of the day photos. Do you know, I haven't used a Voskhod for ages. This will be like me revisiting. Do you know, I just love the look of this razor. I do. Forgive me holding it up to the camera and just staring at it. These old Gillette single rings are really one of my favourite razors. Now you won't believe this, but this Voskhod is just pulling slightly. And I have had one packet before that did that. Just one odd packet. And it felt exactly like this one. It's not particularly uncomfortable, but it's definitely not smooth on this first pass. How odd. I'll have to go through my collection of Voscots. And make sure that they are all not like this one. In fact, I'm going to swap this out. That's how bad it is. My goodness, I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm just going to pop in this Wilkinson sword up here. That was strange. That is better, much better. Do you know, I've been looking for a few items from America. My buddy Mike is going to be kind enough to gather a few things that I buy and having them sent to his address, and he can then post them all in one box out to me. I'm absolutely floundering. I've been looking on the West Coast Shaving and Maggard's Shaving websites, and the amount of shaving soaps in one place is phenomenal. And I'm trying not to buy lemon scented soaps. I'm trying to buy something different. And I guess we're all like this when we buy a new soap and we buy online, you know. We really hope that we'll buy a soap that we really like. I don't seem to like smoky scents, so they are definitely out. I may order a Lather Brothers soap. There are a couple of those that I really like the sound of. But other than that, I've just been looking through the list and just not making any decisions. And I've looked through that list about 4 or 5 times. There's so many soaps to choose from. Do you know, I was listening, I was listening to the Shaving Tolson's podcast the other day, Tim's podcast, and he was talking about how his friend had said that, you know, we're now in the golden age of shaving, and it's true. The amount of products that we can buy is phenomenal. It really is wonderful. But sometime this week I will have to make a decision and try something entirely different. The Phoenix and Bow Pall Mall that I showed you earlier is something that I tried that was a little bit different. And when I first used it, I thought, oh my goodness, this is flowery. And I must admit, I wasn't really keen, and I used it 2 or 3 times, and now I love it. And the sad thing is that Kerry and Sarah at Phoenix and Bow, they don't make that anymore. Unfortunately, they just weren't getting the sales, so I've missed out there. So my tub is going to last a long time. And of course it will last me a long time. You know, I have quite a few tubs of soap. And they will last for years. So long as you dry them out in between using them, they'll be fine. Absolutely fine. I was reading the other day somebody asking about, you know, if you've got so many soaps, don't they go rancid? Well, no. They don't, so long as you look after them. That's my experience. And I'm sure that you will agree with that. There we go, our positives there. I'm sure you'll agree with that. You're going to write in your hoards now, aren't you? Do you know, I'm loving this shave. I really am. I feel better. Do you know, I must stop using this flannel. There's nothing left in the middle. It's my favourite. I must stop using it though. I'm using the edge now. Now let's just wipe some of this on my face. And I'm just going to add just a drop of water to the tip of that brush. Look at that, look at that. 22mm. Oh, it's a wonderful brush, it's a wonder. You know, I've had silver tip brushes before that have splayed into a huge knot. I've never really been a fan. Honestly, I've never been a fan. I gave one away recently. You know, it was an expensive brush, it was handmade. The knot on it was massive and I just couldn't get on with it. But this one's turned me around a bit, I must say. It really has. It's and I'll just give that a cursory rinse, but it's the softness in it and the fact that there's lots of movement in the brush I really like. Whereas this one, the Traveller from Troubleshooting Hill, you can see the knot, let me move it closer, look, you can see the knot is not set as high so the knot is more clumped together here, and it's obviously different when it's wet. But there's not so much movement and space in that brush. That one's, it's just perfect. Do you know, that's the second towel that's dropped on the floor. I don't know if you heard it there. So the next one I'll be using is the one on the back of the door behind me. And if I drop that, I'll have to disappear from camera shot. That way. That's the way I'm going. I mean, shortly we'll be coming up to my signature aftershave, and I think you can probably guess. There's only really two on there that I use nearly all the time. Oh. I've been watching Chris Madden lately, Another Cut Above, on his YouTube channel. Been watching him go through his shaving gear. Boy, I'm in awe of Chris's shaving gear. I've really been enjoying that. I don't watch a lot of shaving videos, you know, 2 or 3 a week, maybe 4. That's about my limit. I know that some guys out there are really, really good, but I can't watch more than 4 a week, you know. It's I like to really enjoy my hobby, and you know, watching shaving videos is certainly a part of that for me, as much as anyone else. But I don't want to spend all day watching shaving videos, so I pick and choose very carefully. If there's something I'm interested in, I'll have a look. I quite often tune in to Flash Boredom, a great fella, and I really like his non-shaving shaving videos. I think they're just great. Yeah, Graham can talk the talk all right, and he's very entertaining and very pleasing to watch. I've been really enjoying the Shaving Tolson's videos, Tim's videos lately. I did used to like Trevi B, but he seems to have stopped making videos lately. It's a shame. I hope he comes back. And there are lots more that I could mention, but we'll be here all day, won't we? Oh, do you know, that is great. That's really nice. That's really nice. You know, I said the other week I was thinking about a new razor. There's a new razor coming out in America, a Silversmith. No, that's not it. It's called the Silversmith. Goodness me. The company that make it, it's just gone right out of my head. I'll find out and put a link in the description below. Sorry about that, it's just gone. It's gone to the winds. Boy, that's a nice looking razor. Stainless steel, 94 grams. It's got a beautiful shape on the handle. $125. Ah, I didn't say, did I? My signature aftershave, you know what it is. Proraso green. I love it. And it goes really, really well with a sort of barbershop citrusy. Do you know why it goes well with everything it does? It's fantastic. I feel great now. Job done. The therapy has worked. We don't need the doctor. We've got shaves. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for joining in. I'd love to know what your signature shaves are, although I'm sure that some of you will mention soaps that I've not used. As I say, we are spoiled for choice, and it couldn't be a better time, could it? There are new razors coming out all the time. It's just wonderful. So enjoy your shaves, enjoy your week, and I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves.